Hey everybody, it's great to be with you today. I'm actually sitting in a park just across the street from the Zendo here in Salt Lake City. My Zen master here is Genpo Roshi, who many of you know is the creator and founder of the Big Mind process. And it's the first time I've been back in about 5 months. And before I get into that, I found it to be such an interesting journey over this last while, especially in the last week even. Last week I had made a video, more of an impromptu video, where I just had felt so disconnected and stuck in my pain. And what's been really interesting about it is that I felt embarrassed to even post it, because I think a deep part of me knew that that's not who I was. But now that I think about it, I know I will post it because it's part of the process and it's part of the journey, and it's a part of me that I've got to be willing to share with you if I want to be honest about it. But what's so interesting about it is that while I was going through that process of just feeling disconnected and distracted in my life and stuck in some patterns and thought processes, and even having some of my addictions surface lately that I've given into a few times, and it's been really hard for me to be okay with where I was, because I didn't want to be there. And today in Big Mind, in our meditation, and in our talk, I was so struck about what even the topic was today, which is how we get so stuck on our broken selves. So stuck, as a matter of fact, we identify and label and create stories to stay in that broken self. And I know that for me, that's exactly where I was. I was stuck in this idea of who I was as this broken self. I was almost like this woman who was trying to fix Humpty Dumpty, that broken part of myself, and trying to put all the pieces back together. But not only put the pieces back together, but I wanted to make sure that it was as polished as possible, because that's, to me, was what made a person whole. And so grasping onto that idea, it left me feeling really empty. And what's interesting is that one of the things we talked about was how we will create distractions in our lives that will literally pull us in a direction that is good, but that will also still create suffering. For me, that was what this yoga training did. It served a multitude of purposes for me. And having come off the training, because I didn't have anything else to distract myself with, I started to feel that disconnect again, that lost. And what happened was basically being stuck in a traffic jam. And it's funny, because when we're stuck in a traffic jam, and if the car's not moving, we feel like everything's a waste. But if everything's moving, and even if it's just 10 miles per hour, we feel like we're making progress. And I didn't realize that the progress was in the stalemate. The process was in being stuck in the traffic jam and not being hot, being ready to blow out of my head, because I had so much going on up here. And so it's just really funny how life can turn on a dime in a minute. But the really important part I wanted to share with you today is because I know we all go through this. Gosh, we all go through these processes where we're stuck and trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together again for some reason. But what's interesting about that too is that there's a part of myself that I haven't embraced or owned, and that is that part of me that is undamaged, that already is whole, that already is enough. And that is my challenge. That is my challenge, is to embrace and accept the fact that that's who I am. And the funny thing is I never understood how to put words to those glimpses that I've gotten when I've referred to that before. Those glimpses are those unbroken parts of myself that scared me enough and shook me up enough that it actually, in my egoic mind, was so scary that it would push me back into another direction to seek out something else that would distract my time, so I really wouldn't have to sit with it for too long, because it was really hard for me. I don't know why that is. I don't know why I make it hard on myself. I don't know why we as human beings make it hard on ourselves. But I do know that after this experience, again, it has brought me out into being okay with being stuck in the traffic jam, and that it's all right, that it'll be okay. I'm not going to be left here forever, but the traffic will eventually start to move. So with that said, my friends, I hope you do take a moment to watch the video I made last week and just see the difference, because I felt such an energetic shift today in how I feel in my body. And now I know why my yoga practice has been so challenging for me, because I've been holding it heavy in my body. And so it's really interesting. The journey continues, and thank you for being on the journey with me. And I hope to share more of that with you as I go along. So I hope you have a fabulous day, and may the journey continue with joy and peace and love for you. Thank you.